If you're a woman over 40 who still believes you need to exercise way more and eat way less to lose fat, this video will completely flip everything you think you know about fat loss forever. Because even though every TikTok video you scroll past is all about HIIT workouts and 1200 calorie diets, my fat loss strategy involves something most people think is too easy to work. But too easy is what got me to 25% body fat after 40. Which puts me in the athletic range for women my age. As someone who walked my way through every mile run that was forced upon me in gym class, I never considered myself athletic, and I definitely never thought that I'd get there in my mid-40s. But it took me over 40 years to figure out that working smarter beats working harder every time. And I know you've been there too, feeling like your body is working against you no matter what you do. But I didn't achieve my fat loss goal with another extreme diet that left me exhausted and hangry. I did it with a simple method that works with your changing hormones after 40, not against them. So in this video, I'll show you the exact 3 walking strategies that help me achieve a lean body after 40 without destroying my metabolism or spending hours on exhausting workouts. But don't just take these strategies and run, or in this case, walk briskly, since I'll also reveal the one critical mistake that sabotages even the most consistent walkers, which this alone could be the reason your scale hasn't budged despite racking up all of the steps. But first, we need to address the biggest lie that's keeping women over 40 trapped in endless frustration. Here's what every fitness guru wants you to believe: that your metabolism just crashes after 40 and there's nothing you can do about it, except cut out everything you love while spending your life on the treadmill. But here's what no one tells you. Studies actually show that your metabolism doesn't really drop until you're at least 60. And even then, it's not the dramatic cliff dive all of these Instagram influencers want you to believe. Because if you don't believe them, who will use their supplement discount codes? So if your metabolism isn't broken, then why are you gaining weight after 40? Well, it's mostly because you're still hopping from keto to carnivore to fasting, while slashing calories to an obscenely low level and cutting out every last drop of joy from your life. But if you're old enough to remember grown women fighting over Cabbage Patch dolls at Zare, then you need to understand that your body needs a completely different approach than what worked in your 20s and 30s. And that's where walking comes in. But not just any walking. Because I see women walking for fat loss for years without losing a single pound. But before we talk about the 3 strategies that actually work, let me show you the science behind why walking might be the most underrated fat loss tool for women over 40. Most women think walking doesn't really count as exercise. You believe if you're not dripping sweat while struggling to catch your breath that you're not burning fat. But here's what happens when you walk, which is the real reason walking works better than all of that intense cardio you force day after day. First, walking burns more stored fat than running. Let's say you walk briskly for 3 miles. About 70% of the calories you burn come from stored fat. But when you run the same distance, only 50% of your calorie burn is from your fat stores. But what's even more detrimental when you choose intense exercise versus moderate movement is what happens once you're done in the gym. Even though running burns more calories per minute, after 40, sustainability always beats intensity. Walking is easier on your joints, so you can do more of it without knocking yourself out or feeling exhausted for the rest of the day, which is really important when you want to lose fat, since the calorie burn from exercise is less than 5% of your total calories burned for the day. Whenever you push too hard, now you're more likely to remain sedentary, whereas moderate walks leave you feeling energized, which means you have energy to move more all day, leading to a greater net calorie burn. Second, walking increases creativity by up to 60%, which isn't just a nice to know, since this creative edge is a game changer for your motivation. It helps you multitask, and it gives your brain the emotional reset it desperately needs. Third, walking regulates hunger hormones, reducing ghrelin, which keeps your appetite in check. Overdoing intense cardio does the exact opposite, leading to post-workout appetite spikes where you end up eating back every calorie you burned plus some. And here's a really cool bonus fact. Walking outdoors, especially in natural light or open spaces, gives your eyes a break from staring at screens all day. This helps with distance focusing, it can slow the progression of nearsightedness, and it supports healthier circadian rhythms. But knowing the science is really only half the battle, because learning this first strategy can literally double your fat burning potential, and 95% of women don't understand the true value of taking advantage of this simple hack. The first strategy that helped me cement this habit has nothing to do with what most fitness experts tell you about walking. There's something about the timing of when you walk that creates a psychological advantage that most women completely overlook. And without understanding this piece, even the most motivated women end up quitting within a few weeks. Here's why changing when you walk makes a big difference. I get my walks done first thing, even before I eat. Everyone raves about fasted walking because it burns more calories from fat stores instead of the food that you just ate, and that is true. But that's not really the main reason that fasted walking works so well, especially since you will regain every ounce of fat you burn if you still overeat later that day. The real reason I do fasted morning walks is about something more powerful than fat oxidation. Andrew Huberman talks about how our brains are wired to establish new habits most effectively within the first 8 hours of the day. And this is exactly why morning walks stick when pushing your movement later doesn't. When you get your walk done first thing, you're way more likely to stick to your routine because you're getting it done before life gets in the way. Think about how many times you've planned to work out later, only to have your kids get sick, work run late, or you're just too tired by 6 p.m. When you wake up and get it done, you've already won the day before most people even roll out of bed. If you choose to eat before walking, it's really not as detrimental as everyone else would have you believe. But I prefer to wait since once I start walking, I'm not really hungry, and taking time to eat is just one more thing standing in my way. Here's my simple morning walking routine that I follow every morning. I wake up, take some caffeine since that helps get my energy up, and I fill my water bottle with a sprinkle of high-quality sea salt to drink during my walk. Then I follow the Japanese interval walking training method 3 to 4 days each week while walking at my treadmill desk while getting work done the remaining days. I recently posted a video about interval walking training, so I'll post that in the description in case you want to check it out. You can follow whatever routine works best for you since the key is consistency, not perfection. And getting your walk done first thing gives you the best chance at being consistent. And even though this first strategy is powerful, if you don't understand this next piece about what to do during your walks, you won't stick with it for long. The second strategy sounds almost too obvious when I say it out loud, but you'd be surprised at how many times I've suggested this to clients and it's something that they never even thought of. The problem is, walking is boring, and if you're bored, you won't stick with it. I know you probably started walking routines before and quit because every step started feeling like torture. But here's what always keeps me coming back. I either make my walks productive or entertaining. Sometimes I walk at my treadmill desk while getting work done, which is a great routine since we already talked about how walking sparks 60% more creative energy. Other times I listen to podcasts, YouTube, or even watch my favorite shows, which is a great routine since research shows you actually remember more after walking than if you just sat still while learning. When I first started, I even made a rule. I couldn't watch certain shows unless I was on the treadmill. Since I was motivated to watch, I was automatically motivated to walk. And adding a daily walk while doing something that I already do racks up 6,000 steps. You're getting more than half of your daily movement just by binge watching something that you are planning to watch anyway. The key is pairing walking with something that you're already motivated to do. That way, walking doesn't feel like another chore. It becomes the vehicle for doing something that you actually wanted to do. But even though those first two strategies will get you moving consistently, there's still one more piece that determines whether your walks actually translate into fat loss. And this is the difference between the scale actually moving or you feeling like you're just wasting a lot of time. The third strategy involves making one simple adjustment that can literally double your calorie burn without exhausting you. And it's amazing at suppressing hunger hormones. Most women think you need to walk faster or maybe even run to get better results. But there's something much easier you can change that transforms walking from a gentle stroll into a fat-burning machine. When I made this simple adjustment, my fat loss results took off. And the crazy part is, it doesn't require any more time and it's not something that's hard on your joints. The game changer that took me from getting a slight calorie boost to doubling my results in the same time is walking on an incline. When I first set out to lose 50 pounds, most of my walks were just on neighborhood walking paths. And don't get me wrong, Walking outdoors comes with incredible health benefits. Here's the reason I spend more of my walking sessions indoors. When it comes to calorie burn, walking on a flat surface burns less than 200 calories an hour. Once I started adding incline and controlled my speed on a treadmill, that increased my calorie burn to 300 to 400 calories per hour while still having the same appetite suppressing benefits. The best part about walking on a treadmill is you can adjust the incline or speed as your body adapts. If you haven't tested this out, start with a 3% incline and work your way up. I currently walk between 6 to 15% incline at around 3.2 miles per hour, which does feel challenging, but that's why it works. I still walk outdoors to get all of the other health benefits: the fresh air, vitamin D, a happy dog, and mental clarity. But my main time spent walking for fat loss happens on a treadmill where I can adjust the intensity. Using these 3 strategies consistently helped me go from this to 25% body fat. And sticking with this walking routine I love helps me easily stay there. But as much as I'd love to credit walking for all of my success, there's one critical mistake that keeps most women from getting these kind of results, even when you're consistent with your walking routine. And since this is what makes up 90% of your results, this is the most important thing that you'll learn in this video. You can walk 15,000 steps a day using these strategies, but if you don't also eat in a moderate calorie deficit, you won't lose fat. And this is exactly where so many women go wrong. You think because you just walk for an hour that you earn the right to eat anything you want. While it's true that walking helps regulate your hunger hormones, making it easier to stick to your moderate calorie deficit, it does not give you a license to eat a bunch of junk. Even with all of that walking, you still need to eat enough food to fuel your walks and preserve muscle, but not so much that you eat more than you're burning with all of this extra activity, at least if you want to lose fat. Which is the reason you should eat in a moderate deficit where you consistently lose around 1 pound of fat each week. If you're not sure how to do that, then watch this video next. I walk you through the exact process I use to lose 50 pounds over 40, which is the same strategy that finally helped me keep the weight off for good.